Hello, everybody. This is Freya. I'm Jason. Hello. And we are bringing you today's episode. So, welcome to 10-Minute Reviews. And it's okay, baby girl. And please hit the like and subscribe buttons. We talk about a lot of books, a lot of authors. This is our passion. This is what we love to do. And we want to spread the word. We want you guys to find new books, new authors. We want you guys to find new people to read. So, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. And as always, I'm going to talk about 4 things today. I'm going to talk about the world, the characters, the plot, and the writing style. Now this one is going to be a little bit more difficult to talk about the plot because I want to talk about a series, and I'm going to talk about Omega Force. Omega Force by Joshua Dalzelle. This is probably as far as the space-based science fiction series that I've been reading recently, this is probably one of my favorites behind Expeditionary Force. I mean, it's really tough to beat Skippy. It's real tough to beat an AI beer can that refers to us as monkeys or meatbags. But Omega Force is probably my second favorite of the more recent ones I've read. And it's fascinating. And again, it's an ongoing series. I have not read the most recent book. It is sitting on my Kindle. I just haven't had time to read it yet. So, the world. The series starts out in basically modern world. You've got Jason Burke, who's a Air Force veteran, and he's a veteran. I was going to say former Air Force, but he's a veteran. I already said that. And it's basically it's modern times. Now, as the series progresses, you start getting into the future, but not hundreds or thousands of years into the future, maybe 50, 60, 70, 80 years into the future at most. And most of it occurs in space. Every so often you touch back on the Earth, and I'll talk about that a little bit in the plot. But most of it obviously occurs in space. So the main character, Jason Burke, as I said, he's an Air Force veteran that stumbles across an alien spacecraft and kind of accidentally ends up in charge of it, basically. In charge of it and out in space. He ends up rescuing or saving or helping the one of the creatures on there, this doctor. And through the first book or two, he meets an eclectic set of characters. I actually don't remember the name all of a sudden, but my favorite one, and probably his well, not his best friend, but one of the ones he is closest to, is basically their version of a Klingon. He's definitely very bestial. It comes from a warrior society. It's all about combat and strength and power. And eventually it's revealed that he is some form of, I think, Archon or some form of nobility or general in a way. He's got his alien doctor that does genetic tinkering to him, which is how he ends up living as long as he does. He ends up being stronger, faster. He's a $6 million man. Better, stronger, faster. That's what ends up happening to him. But in his case, it's all genetic and biological tinkering, whereas there is another character that is introduced eventually that is also an Earthling and even older than him, but she is cybernetic. He is genetic. But he ends up he's Captain America once all the genetic tinkering is done, which barely helps him stay on par with the Archon character. Now, one of my favorites is Lucky. Lucky is a battle synth, which the synths are androids, basically, the self-aware androids. Now, the battle synths were outlawed long ago because they are basically walking tanks with the weaponry of battleships. He gets rescued by Jason Burke and ends up being part of the crew as well. And they basically turn themselves into a mercenary crew. They're a mercenary crew, but they're a mercenary crew with scruples. With morals. They will not do certain jobs. They will not work with certain people. And sometimes they will take jobs pro bono if they, rescue jobs, things along those lines. This is the kind of mercenary crew that will run a blockade to deliver medicines and for payment later. Whether or not it actually comes, well, you never know. But that's the kind of mercenary crew they are. But they also do expect payment for most things because they have to support themselves, of course. Now, they do occasionally cross back in with the Earth, and they end up being painted as bad guys. They kind of have to be, although high up in the government, they know that Omega Force, that's what they call themselves, actually saved Earth. But to avoid panic and widespread riots and stuff like that, they get kind of painted as the bad guys. But they help once Earth becomes aware of alien society and spaceships and stuff like that, thanks to Jason Burke, they end up being able to start an alpha site on another planet. They end up being able to start building their own spaceships. There actually is a spin-off series dealing with Jason Burke's illegitimate child, his son, although I have to be honest, I don't like the series. I tried to read the first book, did not grip me in any way, shape, or form, but the core Omega Force series absolutely still grips me. And as it progresses along, they start running into greater and greater and greater threats. I mean, they start having to deal with war, intrigue between galactic empires. They start having to deal with uber powerful God mode AIs and secret societies, and they even stumble across the remaining battle synths and manage to find a safe haven for them, because again, they're outlawed most of the galaxy. Of course, that safe haven just so happens to be the planet that Jason Burke has built his home upon. Makes your home a little bit safer when you put a couple of hundred walking tanks with the firepower battleships on your planet with you, and they happen to owe you a debt. That's pretty helpful. Now, Lucky, of course, is his best friend, the battle synth, the android, that is trying to learn how to become human, or trying to learn new things. Develop the real joy for cooking, even though can't eat at all, can't taste anything, but loves to cook. Just imagine an android. If you guys have ever played Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, HK-47, or HK-74, the HK series assassin droids. That's kind of what Lucky is like. There's no humanoid skin over him or anything along those lines. He looks like a battle robot. That's what he looks like. That's what he's supposed to be. Only he's self-aware and artificial intelligence. But that's what he looks like. There are other synths that actually do look human, but the battle synths, they are just made to be walking armies, and that's what they are. And so Omega Force, despite being a very small force with one ship, they definitely punch above their weight. I mean, they have an uber warrior prince from a warrior society. They have a genetically altered human. They have one of the few battle synths that's still in existence, and a very powerful spaceship that they've tweaked over and over and over again since. The more recent books dealt with Lucky's almost destruction and their attempts to bring him back, and I am going to read the next book very, very soon, so look for that review, because the most recent book I am definitely going to review when I finish, because I'm so curious what happens with Lucky. Otherwise, guys, please, the writing style, Joshua Dalzelle, he writes very amusing. He definitely fleshes out his characters great. Even a little doctor character that's a little bit timid, they write him so, and he turns out to not be quite so timid. Every character is so fleshed out, so well written, and they really do. If any of you have ever been in the military, you'll understand this. The dialogue between the characters and the camaraderie definitely comes through in the way he writes the dialogue, because they're not nice to each other. They are friends. They will back each other up, and they will fight cats and dogs. They will argue like you wouldn't believe, and they will insult the heck out of each other. So again, if you're a member of the military, you know exactly what I'm talking about right there. So please hit the like and subscribe buttons, and check out Omega Force by Joshua Dalzelle. Fantastic series. We will catch you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Frey decided not to put in another appearance. Bye now.